and I'm one of the co-owners of Mosaic Homecare and Community Resource Centers. Our organization focuses on person-centered care, social connection, and community. Today, our topic is staying active and engaged and a bit about fall prevention. Our guest today is Anne Klausner from Exercise with Care. Welcome, Anne. It's so nice to have you online today.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here, Jane. Thank you. It's a real pleasure. So, as we age, old injuries and possibly surgeries or stress, all sorts of things that happen over the years that we live, they take a toll. And especially if we don't really go and do that rehabilitation right after the incident. And these old life incidents, life experiences leave a toll with regard to pain, mobility, and our self-confidence. And what happens is that because of all this, we become fearful, we're afraid, we're not motivated, and we actually move less, which becomes a vicious circle. With exercise therapy, I'm not looking at where does it hurt? I'm looking at what's changed in your body over the years so we can get you back to a good alignment, to a healthy overall system, and that in itself leads to pain reduction, feeling better, and more motivation.
So, before we get into the main topic of the podcast, I would like to read a brief bio about Anne Klausner. About 20 years ago, she started her career in health and wellness as an aquatic therapist at the Sheba Rehabilitation Hospital in Israel. She worked with victims of accidents and those suffering chronic illnesses. Pain was what they had in common. She could see it in the way they moved and in the lines around their mouth and eyes. She would assist them into the warm water and then wait while they got their bearings, submerging themselves until the water touched their chin. After a few moments, it always happened. The metamorphosis, a calmness. Their faces would relax, the lines fade, and often a smile would appear. You see, in the warm therapy pool, no one felt pain. Fast forward to 2012, she was working in a therapy pool in Canada. In 2016, Anne hung up her swimsuit and was certified as a personal trainer and began to study the neurology of pain and movement. That's quite the bio, and I didn't know about that you lived in Israel and worked in a rehabilitation hospital. So
I've done a lot.
that's pretty amazing. Um, and what can you recommend that is so different from the conventional wisdom of slow down, wear sturdy shoes, and use walking assistive devices if needed? And can you elaborate on this, Anne?
Absolutely. So I'm going to start off by saying, first of all, always be safe. Anything that I say here, we do it with care, and the first priority is to be safe, even as you may try. Well, when I discuss, when I talk about the different exercises, always do it in a way that is safe so that you can hold on, so that you have balance. Let's start with that. Now, I've always wondered, as since I've been working in this field, do we really slow down as we age, or is it because we've been told to slow down that we start to feel old? And what really brought this home for me is a friend of mine from Canada moved to live in Costa Rica. And she told me how in Costa Rica, people who we would consider seniors are out climbing trees, picking coconuts. She's like, gee, I guess nobody told them they're old, you know? So I started to really think about it and to investigate more with the people I work with. And here in North America, we are told to slow down, sometimes very aggressively by healthcare professionals. And I agree that if we are on slippery terrain, icy, like it's going to be for the next few weeks, absolutely, we need those devices, those walking devices to keep us safe. But keep in mind that when you use a cane or a walker, it changes your posture. When you change your posture, your alignment, it affects your joints, affecting the joints in ways that are often painful. And sometimes it's very difficult to go back to that straight alignment after getting used to using those walking devices. Moreover, canes, walkers, people start to walk perfectly straight because it's cumbersome to turn around. It's cumbersome to rotate your head to
Mm.
move that device. We stop turning our head, we stop turning our body, which further deteriorates our vision and our vestibular, our balance systems. Again, this vicious circle leading to worse and worse balance. So I understand, especially again, like I said, this time of year, be super careful when you go out. But while you're in your house, turn your head sometimes. Look around. Actually, turn your body. Sit down, stand up. If you can sit on the floor, that's the best because just sitting down on the floor and getting up again improves mobility and strength. We want to move like we did when we were a kid because kids move freely. So we've got to get that back again as best we can. And by the way, when you slow down, your brain also slows down. The ability to move your body quickly or slowly affects the speed at which your brain functions, which is something, Jane, that you can speak about even more than I can.
So I just wanted to go back to your friend living in Costa Rica. And actually, we are going to be doing a presentation on the blue zones, which are areas of the country. I think Italy, Costa Rica, Japan, and there's some other countries.
Loma Linda, yeah,
And
California.
yes, and California, correct. So they're talking about staying socially engaged, staying within the community, friendships, conversations, exercise, and healthy eating. And so I think there was something on Netflix that was portrayed on the blue zones, and it's about staying engaged and healthy and doing things maybe differently or new experiences
Yes.
and connection. So that was very interesting how you sort of segued into that and about your friend in Costa Rica. Um, so now, Anne, perhaps you could clarify the statement. Is it important to wear sturdy, thick-soled shoes, and why?
So I'll give you an analogy. 30 sturdy, thick-soled shoes. Let's think about winter mittens. Would you put on your winter mittens and then go cut a salad? Probably not, right? Because we need that sensation to feel the knife, to feel the cutting board, to feel what we are cutting and where it is and how hard to push down with the knife. Well, when we wear sturdy, thick-soled shoes, our brain doesn't have the information from our feet about where is the ground, how hard do I need to step, is the ground even, is it uneven terrain? Our brain is no longer receiving that information. And in fact, they've actually done the research, science-based research. They put sensors on people's feet and they discovered that people who wear thick-soled shoes actually walk with a harder stride because their brain can't feel the ground. When you walk with a hard stride and a non-flexible foot, each step creates vibration, impact vibration, which travels up your bones to your ankles, your knees, your hips, your back. Pain ensues. Um, so the combination of a harder stride and a non-flexible, if you wear thin-soled shoes, your foot is flexible. It rolls off the ground. So this is one of the biggest myths of the past 40 years, this need to wear thick-soled shoes. I know most people are not going to go outside tomorrow and start walking barefoot, but we can already start, in the evening here in Canada, especially. Most of us don't wear shoes in the house. Your shoes are off. Start to move your toes. Squeeze, stretch, make a little fist with your toes. Start to move them around. Start to move your ankles around. Make ankle circles. This will start to get your feet used to moving. And as you start to walk, it's going to start to feel different. Um, our toes, just like, our fingers are very useful. Well, our toes actually have a job as well. Our toes are supposed to push back against the ground. They're supposed to push as we walk. They're supposed to push to keep us upright. And most of us don't remember how to do it. There is a phenomenal exercise, which for me has been really transitional, transformative with regard to my own balance, When I give this to my clients, not only does their balance improve, I have a young guy who I work with because of injury. He's like a gym rat. And we meet in the gym. He's this big guy. And he said he can't understand how this exercise, since he's been doing it, not as an exercise, but as a way of being, as a way of keeping his feet, he's able to lift heavier weights. So when you have that stability in your feet, they're our foundation. Your feet is the foundation. And actually, we have like right now a video which I'd like you to all watch where I show this exercise. And again, I don't think of it as an exercise. I think of it as a way of being and what anatomically our foot is supposed to be doing.
I spoke to, I don't know, this was years ago, a physiotherapist or somebody that came to Mosaic to do a program, and they were saying we have to sort of train ourselves to walk properly because the way I don't know, as we age, maybe we're not walking properly, or as you said, it's better to walk with bare feet if you're around the home, and then you sort of have to retrain.
Absolutely, be safe, right? Be careful with socks. Socks are slippery, although they have socks with a little rubber on the bottom.
Yes, yeah.
Be careful with socks. Be safe. But especially in the summer, walk barefoot. The more you feel the ground, the better your balance will be. Your brain is aware of how hard to push, how to keep you upright. The more mobile your feet are. You know how some people walk with a really hard stride?
Yes.
You can hear it like across the room. Think of how much that sound is vibration, right? So think of that sound, that vibration is going up their body.
So it is. Yeah, but I thought that was interesting how we have to sometimes retrain the things that we're doing, or exercises or whatever, walking.
Well, that's what I do. I help people to just retrain their bodies to where the way they used to be.
And I have another question for you. If someone gets their eyes checked by an optometrist yearly, why should one do exercises, and what are the benefits of this?
So eye exams usually check for glaucoma, of course, and acuity of vision. Sometimes they'll do just this. Can you get your eyes to go close?
Yes. Yes, that's right.
They do check that, but very few eye exams will actually check, do you have a
Mm,
full range of motion with your eyes? Our eyes are controlled by muscles, just like every other part of our body. We need to be able to move our eyes. If you look at little kids, their eyes dart back and forth, right? But we stop doing that at some age. Um, so here's what happens. Say you're no longer able to, first of all, look up with your eyes because the muscles are weak and we have gravity, so our eyes start to droop. Your eyes are your steering wheel. Your eyes start to droop, your posture will droop. I can tell
mm.
you 100 times a day, stand up straight, but if your eye muscles are too weak to look to the horizon, you won't be able to do it. Here's the second part of that scenario. A lot of people, I'm sure you hear from people all the time that they don't feel confident walking around outside anymore. Because when you walk outside, you have to look at the sidewalk, you have to look at the curb, you've got to look at the cars, you've got to look at the walk, don't walk. Your eyes actually have to move quite a bit to keep you safe. If your eye muscles aren't used to, or if you're not used to moving your eyes around, in that moment where I'm looking at the curb and then I look up to the don't walk sign, and that moment of shifting my focus, I'm actually sort of blind. My brain isn't receiving the information. This often causes dizziness, which absolutely leads to that lack of confidence. By practicing eye movements, like, oh, I can see the tree next to my window, I can see the books over there, I can see the ceiling, and practicing to regain your focus quickly as you move your eyes, it's called saccades actually. Uh, it's a total game changer in how confident you're going to feel when you're out and about. In your home, move your eyes around. You can do it anytime, sitting, standing. These are the two things that I do with everybody: feet and eyes, feet and eyes.
Yeah, those are all great points about your eyes. I need to start doing that and exercising my eyes for sure. I think
Because you look at a
especially,
screen all day.
yeah, I think especially when you're on the computer, I don't know, you seem to get a lot more tireder. Like I'm more tired being at a desk
Absolutely.
and at a computer than I am like going out to events or health events or meetings or whatever where it's face to face.
Would
But
you like
that
to know
computer,
why?
yeah, but that computer,
Neurologically, I can tell you two reasons. First of all, again, science-based research, people who look at screens don't blink as frequently. That's why everybody's suffering from dry eye. You have to actually make a note to yourself to blink hard every 10, 15 minutes. Secondly, yeah, we're all of an age that we've seen Hitchcock movies, right? How does Hitchcock make the scariest scenes? The scariest scenes are always through a window, through a door, through a curtain. They're television. When you're looking at a screen, you're in television. Television to our brain is scary. Do you feel scared when you sit on the beach and look at the horizon? Your eyes go wide.
yeah, yeah,
That's how we calm down. You're in television all day. People who look at screens all day, their brain is in a state of stress.
yeah. Wow, that's very interesting. I didn't know about all that. Um, I know. So, and how often should we be doing exercises and movement that you recommend? And by doing exercises, do they help with falls prevention?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So let's change the word from exercise to just living more actively. I like that I work with people in their homes. I do in-home sessions because, okay, look, you can go to your kitchen. You can do sit down and stand up 5 times while you wait for the water to boil. You can do a counter push-up. I show people how to move in their homes. We shouldn't just be thinking, oh, I'll exercise at the gym twice a week and that's it, right? We have to be moving more correctly. Can you sit up and, sit and stand up without using your hands to help you? Little things like that. It turns into a way of being. How you keep your feet, moving your eyes. Let's change it from exercise to a different way of being. Uh, Move like you did when you were a kid, right? Kids are always moving around. We have to do that as well. So even in your home, I have all sorts of little toys that I bring people. I have little tennis balls with numbers and letters on them. Can you toss it and identify as quickly as possible that number
Oh,
or
that's
letter?
neat.
I have uh, electric toothbrushes are fantastic, especially if you have pain. Our body loves vibration, right? If you have discomfort, pain, you put the handle of the electric toothbrush onto your body, or if you can't feel the floor, put it under your feet. All sorts of little cheap
Yeah.
gadgets. You want to go for a walk, it's winter, it's icy, go to whatever store or Amazon, buy buy these spiky things that you just slip over your shoes. Like
There's so many things.
this year, it was really cold. I'm as guilty as everybody. I'm not getting out as much as I should have, but we really have to be careful with that
Mm,
because deterioration is much easier than getting stronger, right?
yes. And the spiked shoes that you just showed us, are they easy to put on? So,
Yeah, it just slides right over.
like over the
So this is a
shoe or
strap that goes
boot.
over the top of the shoe.
Right.
There's different types. There's all different types, and this just slides over the shoe.
All right. No, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
So I keep it. I have another pair. Like I didn't want to bring the dirty pair in the house. I have a dirty pair that I keep in the car. So if I need to walk somewhere, I feel safe.
Yeah, no, all good points. And I know, as you were saying about, using your home as, when you have time, do little exercises. So, well, we've started to do like squats if we're, waiting for the kettle to boil and you're doing some
Exactly.
squats there. So I've started to implement that. And then also the resistance bands. So now there's like different colors of resistance bands. You're standing holding a chair. You've got, I don't know what color I use, the green or blue. And you're doing one side stretching and then also stretching the resistance bands, I guess, trying to stretch your arms and so forth. Yeah, so they're,
It's great. Or even, take a rubber band and put it over your fingers. Grip strength. Grip strength is a huge issue as we age. So when you get the back of your hand stronger, the front will get stronger. So just take a rubber band and do this.
yeah, I think you had another thing that you showed me the last time. Oh, that's it.
Narrow
What's
band for the fingers.
Yes. So that's a nifty little gadget.
I discovered this because my son does rock climbing, so they need really strong
Right.
hands. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Get me a pair.
So the other thing, can you describe reflux, fall prevention reflex?
The game changer for me with regard to how I work with therapy is, I don't like to say that I'm a personal trainer because people start to think about big muscles. I couldn't care less about people's muscles. I want the whole body to function. And what I've just described here with the eye exercises and the feet, if you're not convinced, hopefully what I'm about to say now is going to convince you to how important it is. Have you ever noticed that little kids do crazy stuff and they rarely fall down? Because we have reflexes in our body to keep us upright. We have a reflex that when our brain senses a fast forward trajectory, a fast forward motion, our eyes reflexively, no thought required, our eyes reflexively go up like this. When your eyes go up, it pulls your head back. And this, I challenge you, even as you're sitting, look up at the ceiling and try to not move your head back. It happens. It's a reflex. We can't control it. At the same time, your toes push against the floor. This is all reflexive. It happens in milliseconds. So the combination of eyes up, head back, toes pushing into the floor keeps us upright. But if you're not able to lift your eyes, if your neck is stiff because you always
Mm,
walk this way and never turn your head or look upwards, and if you're wearing thick soled shoes and don't move your toes at all, you've lost this reflex. I was out actually driving one day, it was a winter day, and there was road construction, so I couldn't stop my car. I saw on the sidewalk a woman she just keeled forwards. Like,
wow.
I felt so sad. There was a little bit of a hill. She just stepped towards that hill and she just fell forward. Absolutely no reflex kicked in with her.
Yeah, I'm sure that happens all the time, and especially people have to be careful. Well, in the last couple of weeks in Toronto with the snow we had and the sidewalks not being cleared
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and older persons like trying to find their way on the sidewalk, staying off the road. Uh and it was like mounds of snow and little pathways, so I'm sure there were lots of accidents and falls and emergency into the emergency room at that time. I just want to go to your website, exercisewithcare.ca. And there I have looked at it, and there's some great blogs and YouTube exercises such as brain and body breathing and benefits of walking barefoot, which was quite interesting. Um, and I think you already touched on, prior in our conversation about walking barefoot and definitely the benefits of that, it's in the summer months to go out
can't wait.
and and walk barefoot. Um, and then again, when you're walking in the winter, make sure you have the proper grips. Make sure you have the proper boots. Not walking where there's ice on the sidewalks that hasn't been cleaned. Make sure there's easy pathways to walk in the city.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And again, making sure you have the proper gear to go out in the winter to walk.
3 years ago, this type of weather where there was a lot of snow, there was a warm day, the snow melted. That night, everything froze, of course, and then it snowed. I went out. I didn't see there was ice
Oh,
underneath the snow, and I fell and broke my.
and the black ice.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I've done that before,
You have
where
to be
you've
really,
just
really careful.
slid. Luckily, I didn't damage anything, but yeah, it definitely happens. Um, So, what are some of the exercises that individuals can do at home, especially in the winter months, to stay active?
Oh, you know what? What you just described was it. That was perfect with the bands, counter push-ups. Sit to stand. Put your hands like this. Just stand up and sit down. You know, practice it. It's going to be hard at first. You've got to use your feet. You've got to use your legs. Sit on a chair. Look behind you. Use the bands that you described. Look behind you. Look behind you. Rotate. Move your eyes. Follow your vision. I have a pen that I use. I follow it, I look at it. Just don't just sit on the couch and stare at a screen. Whatever you do is good. There's so many videos out there on YouTube. I'm always happy to talk to people. And I really I stress Move like you did when you were a kid. Kids are always turning around, spinning around, getting up, sitting down, fidgeting, fidget. Just move your body. When you move like you did when you were a kid, your brain starts to function. Have you ever thought about it? The only organisms on Earth that have a brain are organisms that move.
Ah, right. Right.
The reason for having a brain is so that we can
We
move.
can move
So we've got to use it.
and stay moving. Stay active is the
Yeah.
takeaway message. One of
Yeah.
them.
Start with your feet, your foundation, your eyes, your steering wheel. Watch my videos, watch other videos, and I'm always available to chat with people.
We are coming to the end of our podcast and would like to thank Anne Klausner from Exercise with Care. Her website is exercisewithcare.ca for coming onto our podcast and our YouTube channel today. Before we leave, I would like to ask you for a takeaway message today that you would like to leave to for our listeners, Anne.
Okay, first of all, I want to thank you so much for having me on your
Uh,
podcast, Jane. As you can hear, I am passionate about we've got to start to live healthier lives, and we can do this. You know, Basically, my brand, my motto is move like you did when you were a kid. Kids are always turning around, fidgeting, getting up, getting down, sitting on the floor, looking behind them, looking at the sky. Just move your body, move any way that you can. Um, have you ever thought about the fact that the only organisms on Earth that have brains are those that move,
yeah.
right? The purpose of our brain is to move. And as they all say, use it or lose it. So start with your feet. If you don't know where to start to move your toes, your ankles. Your feet are your foundation. They support us all day. Your eyes are your steering wheel. Where your eyes look, your body goes. Start with that. For more information, go to my website, my YouTube channel. There's lots of other people out there giving great information as well. And I'm always happy to chat with people.
Aw. Well,
Free of charge for a chat. Always happy to do it.
that was great, Anne. And can you provide your phone number and email and website so people know how to get in touch with you?
Absolutely. My website, as you just said, is exercisewithcare.ca. My phone number is 416-414-7276. If I don't pick up, please leave a message because while I'm working, I don't take calls, obviously. And or email me at ann@exercisewithcare.ca.
Oh, that's great. Well, thank you, Anne. And just for those that wanted to know a little bit about Mosaic, we are an organization, Canadian owned, that provides social connection to people. We are located in a church, and so we have our community hub and our resource center there. We have lots of programs going in person and also online. We have yoga sessions online, which are free. We have a growing wellness cafe, memory-friendly programs. We have every Monday an exercise and dance program with Jen Hicks. And that starts at 10 till 11, and that's on donation for the exercise class. If you're wanting any information about our services or home care services or our social programs, you can check out our website at www.mosaichomecare.com or give us a call at 416-322-7002. Thank you for attending our podcast today, Mosaic's Community Life Podcast, Life in Canada. And this is Jane Teasdale signing off, and stay tuned for our spring podcast series. Thank you so much. Bye.